while that is actually uploading, because that's a really long video to upload, I'm going to do this quickly. Yes, my birth name is Justin Mark Fleming. However, I have been raised in Roman Catholic schooling, private schooling, and back when I started St. Aidan's. Now you can, I don't care, I'm sick of this, but I've already asked St. Aidan's if they've got anything from, I've still got my school badge actually. Where is it? I might actually find and take a picture of it. From St. Aidan's. So when I started St. Aidan's in 1984, one of the first languages that was taught in 1984, I was 4 years of age, turning 5, was Latin. As part of my religion. That was still taught in Roman Catholic schooling. Now, if you want to debate that, go ahead. It was Father Grady that actually taught it in one of the nuns. And when we had to make our first Holy Communion, we had to learn, we had to repeat Lamb of God back in Latin, which was Agustius. That's why I know Lamb of God. Agustius. Okay, that was at St. Aidan's in Rooty Hill. Now, to confirm this, so of course that's a very long time ago. We're talking 40 years. So a lot of records aren't kept. But to validate this, because I guess those teachers are dead, I have my school badge. And the logo for the school in those days was in Latin. You can see it on my school badge. So there, that confirms it. Plus, I'm Roman Catholic. Latin still is part of the Mass in St. Mary's Cathedral. Roman Catholic. Okay? Study religious education, and in religious education, we have to learn the 3 major religions. That's why I've got an understanding of Islam. So don't make up stories, because Islam understanding I had before a teenager. So that is religious education at a private school. So I had to, of course, learn my own religion, which was Roman Catholic. I had to learn Judaism and Islam because it was part of religious education. That is what the course is, religious education. It's not Roman Catholic education. It was called religious education, religious studies. Okay? That was in the private school I went to. And I've got documents still from that to back it up, because I don't like to throw documents away to his studies. There's that. Now, so anyone who wants to make up these stories about me in the last 10 years, then you don't know me. Why? Do you know Arabic? Okay, let's go back to the 80s when I went to a strict Roman Catholic school that actually had Apple computers, and they did at St. Aidan's. Let's go back to this, because we had to learn the translation of the Bible. But so Roman Catholic religion back in those days was strict. The translation of the Bible, the Roman Catholic Bible, because it's not, which is why I've tried to explain to Giovanni. He's like, oh, so you go for King George. I'm like, oh, sorry, no, King James. I'm like, are you nuts? I'm Roman Catholic. King James is some English thing. Talking about a king? And that's what Bible Giovanni went off in his family. It's like, that's King James. That's not Roman Catholic. Roman Catholic's a Roman Catholic Bible. And I've literally had conversations with people that go, they're Roman Catholic, but they use King James. I'm like, no, you're not Roman Catholic, you're Catholic. You'll be English Catholic, or you're Protestant, or Church of England, because Roman Catholics don't use King James. We use the Old Testament, the New Testament, the Roman Catholic Bible. I'm brought up in this religion, so I can tell you right now. So the translation we had to learn, and it was religious studies back in Rooty Hill, and this is why. So Baruch Atah Adonai is part of the Old Testament that we had to translate. So was Misfah. That's why I knew. To do with Genesis 3.2, I think Misfah was in. That's why. This comes from my own upbringing in private schools, Roman Catholic private schools. And whoever made up these stories about, oh, kids being molested, was that? Yeah, no, I never was, thanks. I actually had a really good time growing up in Roman Catholic school. So, and I never had any issues with brothers or nuns or priests or anything like that. They were just lovely people. So don't make up stories with me, thanks. You can leave me out of your scams. Leave me out of your scams. There you go. I don't like being part of someone's scams. Yeah, I'm going to stand up and not be a smart ass like I was from 2016 to 2018. I'm going to stand up and say, I don't like being part of your scam. Whether you're trying to scam to say people who are depressed and suicidal, look at the numbers. I'm not being part of your scam. I've never been suicidal in my life. Never threatened it, never attempted it, never had depression. Never cared about relationships. So if you know me, you know that I've always loved being single. Never wanted any relationship. I was in probably John Cabino. Maybe that was the first one that actually made a, choice to go, actually, this might work. We're very like-minded people, John Cabino and myself, so it would work. Owning partner. No one else. So don't start your shit. So as for this, that just went on because idiots caught the acting stunt. Let me tell you, 2017, the bedroom, I wasn't curling my hair. Sweetheart, I was acting. Mind you, to cover my ass, I had just joined with a new agent, and I do have acting for film and television at Screenwise in Surrey Hills back in 2006. So when I was having my privacy deliberately invaded, where privacy, confidentiality laws and prying laws were getting deliberately broken, let me pull on that acting stunt and go, never, because that was fucking fake. Or calling Lavinia. Now, I met Lavinia down the end of Crown Street at the East Sydney Hotel that's corner of Cathedral Street. Yes, I've got a very good memory. Okay, extremely good memory. And she was with her friend Craig when I first met her. And I was like, oh, here we go. What is this, another social worker? Another little disability scam? Is it? It's come from Carol, did it? Who's doing this bullshit? So I was like, oh, let me play a little prank on this idiot. So I'm like, oh, I don't remember you, but you remind me of Nana Ruby. Let me pretend I'm mentally retarded. Are you stupid? Like, seriously, like, I look at my deadbeat mother and thought, you're a fuckwit. Like, I went from being normal, right, to having lunch in 2016 with my mother at Watson's Bay Hotel and so forth, to knowing then suddenly I'm getting my privacy to be invaded, harassed by certain people, groups and organisations who thought I was from Tamworth when I barely lived there for 6 years. Barely lived there for 6 years. By the way, what I said in 2016, fake. Oh, bullshit. This loser friend of Brett Aikenhead's, Peter Fry, told me he was getting surveillance. And I'm like, oh, let me see if you are. Yeah, fake. Like, oh my God, does nobody ever watch my acting school, like, video from 2006? Like, Christ, I didn't need the validation, but thank you for all the validation that I would have made a fantastic actor. Wouldn't now, because I don't really like the left. Basically, I really can't stand wokeism. So, as much as a homosexual, I think it does go a bit too far. So, yeah. Anyway, yeah. Like, seriously, you people are dumb. Oh, wait, I shake with the left hand because it's like, oh, I'm not even going to do it. I've already repeated this so many times. Like, even in 2018, Mum's like, why are you trying to get revenge on these people? Because that's what I was doing, trying to get revenge since 2015. And she's like, just go. Like, haven't you got your green card to US? I'm like, yeah. Got a green card to America since 2014. And there's where Redfern Police there. I called. That was me, Redfern Police, calling from the US back in 2020. I rang you from Norwich, Connecticut. I rang Redfern Police and said, what's going on? Why do you think I'm Rackley? And some smart ass I talked to on the phone goes, oh, you living in America, you've got a green card now, you must have married someone or something like this. I'm like, I've always had a green card to the US. My last name's Fleming. Why do you think I'm related to... Who started this? Rackley's my stepfather. Fleming's my father. Surely you can't be that stupid. So, anyway, that was me calling from Norwich, Connecticut in 2020, and I rang Redfern Police from Norwich, Connecticut in 2020 and said, why have you got me listed as somebody else? Can't you read a birth certificate? My birth name is Justin Mark Fleming, and on my birth certificate should have my design name. That's what I was getting at with my Roman Catholic schooling, because I just went around in circles with this. Let's go right back to the beginning. Roman Catholic schooling. You learn what words were before modern English, which means you learn the full version of Justin, because Justin's modern English. The name Justin was around 2,000 years ago, but it wasn't Justin. Okay, it was longer. It was Justinian. Justinian is I was told by my teacher, because I wanted to have that as a saint's name for my confirmation, and the teacher said, no, you can't have Justin. Because I want a Justinian Justin. I said, no, I wanted to go with Paean. Paean means a lover of horses. So I went with the modern English spelling of Saint Paean, which was Peter. I did. So this was all, hang on, it's Orthodox Christian saint was Justinian. Okay, these is nothing to do with what people think. This is everything to do with knowing languages and words, to do with my religion and making confirmation and making certain religious aspects throughout my life. These people are dumb. So my design name since a kid, and in my artistic name, I had Cesare Justinian Payne Marcus Philippe Zosheim. Zosheim means survivor. That was I used to write it down on the back of my artwork. I used to put it on the back of my design work. It was a long sort of kitsch name I thought was funny. That's all that was. And then I wanted to make sure I could always use that name legally. So I made sure it was added to my birth certificate. So it is added to my birth certificate. I'm not adopted. My parents are Carol Ann Purdy and Mark Ian Fleming. Okay, Carol Ann Purdy, legal secretary that became a paralegal. Mark Ian Fleming, a builder. These are my parents. My grandparents is Ruby Jean Hill, Stanley Fleming, Lola Mae Keegan, and Reginald George Purdy. This is my family. My dad's father was an orphan, yes, but he was not adopted. He was raised by Edith Kavanagh in Botany Bay. My dad's father was not born in Australia. He was not born in Australia. And the first person that told me that was Dad's Uncle George Hill, which is Ruby Jean Hill's brother. Uncle George, when I was living in Surrey Hills. He told me this. He said, your grandfather Justin wasn't born here, and started telling me what information to do with Edith Kavanagh. Now, years later, I went and got documents from the government, and it says he had no country of birth and he had no place of birth, but his name is Stanley Fleming. Okay? Can we just resolve all this? Because I know you people are stupid. Because you've continued this for 10 years, costing me money, and you still think that you're not going to pay damages. Well, that's hilarious. Because yes, you are. I'm not walking away from that amount of money, assets, belongings, or anything. You chose to interfere in my life. You chose to break the law. What you did was breaking the law. And you're still doing it today. Maybe stop.